Hello, grade 7. How are you, girls? I miss you so much. Today, we're going to start with our new lesson and our last lesson for this semester, lesson 2, energy transfer. Okay? At the beginning, before I start explaining, let's together watch this video to change our moods, all of us. Watch.
Outside in the cold, I keep losing my heat. I shiver till my teeth begin to clack to a beat. My knees begin to shudder, shake and vibrate. They rattle back and forth so they can generate heat. A type of energy. Heat. You feel it radiate. Heat. How easy can it be? Heat. Just move to generate. I think I'm starting to feel the heat energy. I feel it radiate from you in waves to me. My temperature is low until you transfer heat, and now I'm feeling warm from my head to feet. Heat. You feel the energy. Heat. Those waves will radiate. Heat. It's easy as can be. Heat. All moves will generate. I'm feeling a lot of heat energy. A higher degree. I drink a glass of water and I'm feeling so nice. And dark on my cheek, my hands melt my eyes. Heat. A type of energy. Heat. You feel it radiate. Heat. How easy can it be? Heat. Just move to generate. Heat.
I hope that you enjoyed the song the same as me. Okay, let's start our lesson. First, let's see what we're going to talk about in this lesson. We're going to talk about conduction, convection, and radiation, then conductors and insulators, the last thing, specific heat. Today, we are going to talk about the first 3 points, conduction, convection, radiation. Next week, we will talk about the rest. Okay, do you remember the meaning of heat? Heat is what? Heat is energy transfer between two objects when there is a difference in temperature between any two objects. This is the meaning of heat. Okay? Now heat, it can transfer between objects in 3 ways. Conduction, convection, and radiation. Let's watch this video together. Focus please, try to understand.
This water boiling, the heat of the fire, and cooking on the skillet are all examples of heat transfer. In simple terms, heat is the transfer of energy from objects of different temperatures. As objects warm up or cool down, their kinetic energy changes. Kinetic energy is the energy of motion. Temperature is a measure of the average kinetic energy of the particles in an object. As temperature increases, the energy of motion increases. As the water warms up and the temperature increases, you can see an increase in the movement.
Okay, the first method of energy or heat transfer we want to talk about is conduction. To understand conduction, let's watch this video together.
In a beaker, pencil, plastic scale, and a metal spoon. Put the metal spoon, plastic scale, and pencil in the hot water. After a few minutes, touch each of them.
Okay, now my question, when you come after a few minutes and touch them all, what you will feel? Which one is hotter? For sure you will all answer that the metal spoon is hotter, right? The second question, how the heat arrived to this part of these objects? How? Now the hot water is here. It's covering only this part of the metal spoon. So how the heat reached this part? So this is the second question. To understand this experiment, let's start talking about conduction. What's the meaning of conduction? Conduction, it is the transfer of heat through a material. So, in the experiment, heat transferred from the bottom to the top of the metal spoon by conduction. So the heat from the hot water transferred to the metal spoon, then from the bottom of the metal spoon to the top of the metal spoon. What do we call this process? Conduction. Also, conduction is what? It's the transfer of heat via direct contact. Now, when you touch, in the previous experiment, the man, when he touched with his hand the metal spoon, he felt that it's hot. Why? Because of conduction. Heat transferred from the metal spoon to his hand by conduction. This is the meaning of conduction. Here are two examples for conduction. When you touch the object with your hand, direct contact, or through the same material. Now the fire is here. So how the heat will reach my hand? Because of conduction, the heat, the energy or the heat will transfer from here through the material till the end or till my hand. Okay? Conduction takes place when objects that are in direct contact are at unequal temperature. We know this, we said before. We have heat transfer or energy transfer between two objects that are at unequal temperatures, from hot object to cold object. Conduction also takes place between particles within an object, the same as this example. Okay? Now, let's watch also this experiment together. Then I will ask you questions about it. Sorry.
A number of pins, spirit lamp, and a matchbox. Take the spoon, melt the wax of the candle, and use it to stick a few pins on the metal spoon at regular intervals like this. Now light the spirit lamp. Place the flame at the free end of the spoon and observe. We see that the pins start to drop from the wire one by one as the wax that stuck them to the metal spoon melts. The first pin to fall is the one closest to the flame, and the last one to fall is the one at the far end of the spoon.
Okay, now. So, what do you understand from this experiment? What do we have? I have here a source of heat, right? Source of heat, a metal spoon, then I stick on the metal spoon 4 pins. How I stick them? With wax. Now we know that wax, it can melt easily. Okay, so I put the metal spoon in contact with the source of heat or the fire. So what happens? The heat or energy will start to transfer from this point of contact till the rest of the metal spoon. So it will start to move in this direction. So that's why you will see that the first pin that is close to the source of heat will fall first, and the one that is far away from the source of heat will fall the last. Okay? Why? Because heat transfers through the object in this direction. Clear? That's all about conduction.